I often get asked, how do I afford to live the life that I have? And also, how do I manage to continue to run my businesses as I travel the world? Well, today's video, I'm going to give you a 7-step guide for building out a company that allows you to generate $10,000 a month so that you can break free from the rat race of trading your valuable life for income from a job. Now, I'm not knocking jobs. They are really important in our economy, but most people are working jobs that they don't like and also living life much differently than they dreamed that they would have. Imagine if you made $10,000 a month passively. What could you be doing with your time? You could travel the world, focus on your passion project, or elect to stay home and raise your children without sacrificing the comfort of that salary. On this channel, I discuss living globally along with business hacks in real estate and healthcare, showing you the path so that you could do the same. My name is Carl Pierre, and this is ENTP Life. This past June, I developed a program teaching how to start a healthcare staffing firm. My family got into this business back in 1996, and it set the foundation for my journey as an entrepreneur. I feel it's an excellent way to build a company in a stable industry that will continue to have demand for years to come. If you want to sign up for that course or interested in getting more information, visit entplife.com and browse through the course offerings. I also included a link down below for you to reference if that's something that you want to do. In my opinion, there are 7 key steps for building out a staffing firm that can generate $10,000 monthly after you set the groundwork for the business to be managed by others. I'll go over these 7 steps in detail throughout this video. Step 1 is to adjust your mindset so that you fully understand that the way to earn money passively is by owning cash flowing assets and leveraging other people's time. This mindset step is really important. Most people are used to being employees and they like the comfort of being an employee because there's no risk that they perceive to themselves. They usually think that their employer is always going to keep them employed, and that seems a little bit more comfortable than going out there and making their own money. So you have to really start thinking about money completely differently. And you have to start thinking about how it is that people become wealthy. And the only pathway for that is to own and control assets that spin off cash for you. Your business is an asset that can spin off cash for you. People working are an asset that can spin off cash for you, especially if you're looking to earn that spread over their time. So you have to get into this mindset that you, like many other business owners, are capable of building something or owning something that is going to make money for you that doesn't necessarily require your direct attention all the time. Step 2, pick an industry that you know or are educated in and solve a problem within that industry. For this example, it's healthcare staffing. I grew up in a healthcare household and my entire life has really revolved around healthcare. My father's a respiratory therapist, my mom's a nurse. We were all pushed down the healthcare pathway. So when my mom started the staffing firm, I got my first taste of entrepreneurship and seeing exactly what the benefits of that was. And because of that as well, I developed a rich knowledge and base for the industry and know exactly where opportunities exist. So when I talk about being an expert in a certain area, really think about the industry that you're working in. If you're not in healthcare already, think about maybe some of the gaps that exist in your industry group and where your company and the companies that you've worked for may have had trouble finding staff. If you have industry expertise or like critical domain knowledge, you're going to be able to identify the problems within an organization and you're going to be able to monetize that. But when it comes to healthcare staffing, there's forever been a nurse shortage, and there's usually shortages of other healthcare professionals. The trend is the more training that is required, the less people that are available. And if you're able to bridge that gap, you're definitely able to generate income because you're solving a critical problem. Step 3, calculate the number of workers you will need to place in order to hit your goal of $10,000 a month. This is just a matter of reverse engineering the math. If you're looking to make $10,000 a month on nurses, you have to think about what's going to be the average spread or average profit margin on one of these nurses. I can tell you the national average is around $20 an hour as your profit margin. So if you had one nurse working 40 hours a week at $20 an hour as your spread, you'd be making $800 a week or $3,200 a month. So if you wanted to make $10,000 a month, you would need 3 to 4 full-time RNs working in your organization. and that will let you hit that first goal of 10,000. Let's say you are employing nurse aides. Nurse aides, the spread is going to be a little bit smaller, so you're going to need more people, more hours to fill that number. So once you know what number it is that you want to hit, you're going to be able to look at what the profit margins are and really say, well, what is my goal here? How many people do I need to be working in my organization, being placed at a facility or with a vendor for me to make the money that I'm looking to make? This is very important that you start thinking about the numbers and the math behind your goal. Step 4, secure customers by addressing their problems. In healthcare staffing, there are 2 particular customers that you have to consider, and they have each unique problems. People often forget that one of the most critical customers in an organization are the people working in the organization themselves. In staffing in particular, that's absolutely true. You do not have a staffing company if you don't have employees who you can place. So if you're thinking about opening a nursing agency or nurse staffing firm, one of your customers are going to be nurses. So when you're thinking about hiring a nurse, you really have to listen to what their needs are. What are they commanding? What are they asking for out of an employer? They're usually going to be concerned with their pay wage, the facility and the culture within the facilities that they're working in, and they're going to want to work for an employer that's taken their thoughts and their feedback into consideration. And those are the things that they're looking for, right? They're also looking for a job, whether it's supplemental income to their full-time job or outright a full-time job so that they can meet their financial obligations. That is customer number 1. Customer number 2 are the vendors and the companies that you're placing these employees in. They also have their particular sets of needs. They typically need workers to fill their slots, whether it's assembly line workers or the number of nurses that they need to staff a unit so that they can maintain the proper patient to caregiver ratios. These are going to be their particular needs, but they're also going to want people who are competent, who fit the company culture, who are responsible and able to fill their times and their needs. So if you're able to really zero in on what the pain points are that each of these customers have, and you craft your business and develop your business so that you address that common pain point, you're going to set yourself up for an improved chance of success, and you're going to be able to separate yourself from the competition. At this point, this is very much so an active business that you yourself are working on. Maybe you have some internal support. However, they may be dependent on you to perform critical tasks for day-to-day functioning. If you're finding this information useful, make sure that you like this video and share it with anyone else who may find it useful as well. The next steps help you move from active entrepreneur to passive owner of a cash flowing asset. Step 5 is document all processes required to run the business. Think of this as a blueprint that others can follow and get the same results or even better results than you. For those of you who like to cook or bake, you know it's important to follow a recipe as described. There's a list of ingredients and there's the step-by-step to get the end result that you're looking for. It's no different with your business. So as you, as the solo entrepreneur or the founder of this business, get to a point where you can start employing people, it's really important that you kind of do this knowledge transfer, download the information that allows you to do the job that you're doing, write it out, design training tools, videos, whatever it is that you need to do to make it clear so that when somebody else steps in to take one of your responsibilities on, they're able to get the same outcome that you get when you do the work. If you do not do this, you will forever be tied to the business that you built and working within the business. If you want to have a true business, not just be self-employed, you need systems in place and you need to employ other people to run that business. Oftentimes people who are better than you at what you do so that they run it even better than you can. Step 6 is to hire and train support that will successfully manage what you started and replace you. This will require you to scale up the number of workers you have filling assignments to preserve the income that you set out to earn to begin with. This may be one of the hardest parts to transition from being an entrepreneur, founder of a company, to the business owner. And it's really hiring and training the people so that they're doing a job that you can count on and that you trust. Usually when we build companies out, those companies are our baby and we know every in and out of it. And it's hard to give up that control. But if you actually built out systems properly and you hired and trained the right people, good talent, trained them well, made sure that they know their jobs, then you're going to be able to take steps back from the company that you built and get your time back without sacrificing the quality of your company, without sacrificing the income that is being made. But you're also going to have to consider that you're going to have to boost your bottom line in order to offset your money. Remember, we first started thinking about hiring 3 to 4 nurses so that you can make $10,000 a month, but you might need to hire 20 or 30 nurses in order to afford really quality workers to run your business so that you're still either making a $10,000 a month spread or even more if you have a real rockstar team. Step 7 is to create clear metrics and reporting standards that will allow you to quickly and easily assess the performance of the business that you built. When thinking about what key metrics or what key data points you're going to need to have to know whether or not your business is doing good, one of the obvious ones is how much you're placing and how much you're billing per month and how much you're spending, right? That's going to give you the clear snapshot of how much money you're going to make. But you may want to have some other key indicators such as how many open shifts are they for a certain period, how many shifts went unfilled compared to how many were open. You will also want to track the productivity of your employees to know whether or not they're completing their projects and their assignments within a timely fashion. And you're going to have to design reports that give you all the critical information that you need to make decisions as to whether or not you need to change things within your organization, whether or not the industry is changing, or if things are going so well that it makes sense to potentially invest and expand in your business. Without having these clear metrics and these clear indicators for how your company is performing, you're not going to know whether you're doing good or bad. And it's not just a matter of how much money you're making from month to month either. Obviously, that's going to be the first figure that you want to see is how much that you spend versus how much that you make and what's your profit point. But you're going to also want other metrics that let you know what is the health of your business, what is the health of your employees and their performance output, and you're going to want to know whether or not anything is changing in your industry or in your particular community that you're serving that you need to be aware of so that you can make the necessary adjustments or make the recommendations for adjustments. The better these metrics are and the better your staff are, the less time you're going to need to dedicate to reviewing the changes in these nuances. It may take your work week from being 40 hours to 1 hour a week because all you need to do is review those metrics and have a meeting with whoever your lead operations person is. These are the necessary steps that you'll have to take to build a business that will earn you passive money. The employees in your organization may be totally comfortable and happy working for you, and that's what you want. You want to earn a spread over the efforts being made by other people. It's actually the same when you consider real estate. Your tenants are out there working their jobs so that they can pay you their hard-earned money to live in your home. So when building a business, it must be the same. You want your employees working hard to support their lifestyle while paying you to provide them with that bridge. If you're still thinking this could be a pathway for you to move from employee to business owner, I highly recommend you register for my course, Passive Workforce. It gives you all the details you need to build out the company I just described. Premium members also get to work and receive direct mentoring from me to help them navigate from startup to the growth phase of their company. Thank you again for joining me here at ENTP Life. I hope you learned something valuable and potentially life-changing. Until the next one, take care.